Hello, YouTubers. Alaska Prepper here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have a blockbuster story to talk to you about right here. And what this is actionable intel. And before I even get into this, I want to say thank you very much. You know, I don't look at my analytics very often, maybe once or twice a week, right? And for those of you that don't know what the analytics on YouTube is, it's like the behind the curtains look at how your YouTube channel is performing as far as subscribers, as far as how many views a video got, etc., etc. And I want to say thank you very much to all of the new subscribers. I like to call you all community members that have joined in here in the last week and a half or so. I truly appreciate you subscribing, and I truly appreciate you wanting to be part of what I'm calling now a real YouTube channel. Not because I'm anything special, but because I'm a human being. I've noticed that YouTube is getting a huge influx of AI videos, and I think that AI is trying to take over the narrative on social media. Well, I'm going to ask you right now to go ahead and support human creators. Never in my life did I think I would be in front of a camera asking you all to support human beings, support human creators, and not AI. See, AI, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be used against us in many ways. And one of them is obviously propaganda. And another way is for them to be able to achieve their agenda. So when you see AI videos, I'm not telling you what to do. Let me tell you what I do. Whenever I see a video, I know it's an AI video, I just delete it and I ask them not to recommend me that channel. Why? Because AI, ladies and gentlemen, although it can be used for good, it has a lot of power. And what do the elite, all right, what do our rulers, those that want us to be under them forever, always want to achieve? It's always more power. And I also want to inform you that a lot of the news videos that I do, that the videos where I share a story with you that I do, I like to call it actionable intel. It's stuff that's happening or that looks like it's going to happen or can happen, that have a high probability of coming to be, that we can prepare for now. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. I don't really like to talk too much about things that we can't do anything about, right? Like, for example, we can't do too much about our lousy representatives that have sold us out for $1. But really, they do whatever they want to do because their allegiance, ladies and gentlemen, and maybe not all of them, there's a few good ones that are real patriots that love their country. But their allegiance is not to you and I. It's not to the people. It's to the highest bidder. Before I continue, make sure that you go to this Monday's video, the Word on the Street video, and enter to win 5 ounces of silver, ladies and gentlemen. 5 ounces of silver with the silver price right now, that's a $300 bill. And it's free for you to enter. So go to that video, give it a like, watch the video all the way through, support this guy right here by letting an ad hit 30 seconds or so before you skip, and enter to win 5 ounces of silver. I don't know how much silver I've given away already in the month of December. I think I've probably given away close to 40 ounces or so. And I'm going to continue to do it all the way through the end of this calendar year. Is Europe ready to pull the trigger? Officials whisper about dumping U.S. treasuries if Trump cuts a Ukraine deal. Right now, this is going on. Right now, the EU is quietly threatening Operation Sandman. And for those of you that don't know, Operation Sandman is an operation where everyone that holds U.S. treasuries or U.S. debt will dump them onto the market, pretty much eviscerating the U.S. dollar and making our lives, the lives of those people that count on the U.S. dollar, a lot more difficult and, I would say, hyperinflationary. European governments are quietly debating an extraordinary economic countermeasure as fears grow that the U.S. president may strike a deal with Russia that sidelines Ukraine and threatens continental security. Now, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I'm going to show you after I go through this why it is, in my opinion, that they are so insistent that we continue to support this war. I'm sure that these people that are contemplating this don't have children that are coming home without body parts or their minds intact. So they care nothing about the people. They care only about one thing and one thing alone. According to international assessments shared with Europe, officials are considering a drastic response, dumping vast holdings of U.S. government debt to destabilize the American economy if Washington abandons its commitments to Ukraine. So they're pretty much trying to hold the United States of America hostage, saying, you better support this war, or we're going to go ahead and dump all these treasuries and eviscerate your economy and your financial system. If they dump their treasuries, ladies and gentlemen, Operation Sandman, all right, an operation where U.S. treasuries are dumped all at once in order to cause as much pain on the economy and the United States citizens as they can so that we can bend to their will. Now, the United States of America, in my opinion, and wrongfully so in a way, because they've borrowed money to do so, the government has borrowed money to do so, is very charitable, right? Very charitable. And these people want even more. They want their pockets lined even more. But AP, how are they lining their pockets if all we're doing is supporting a country that's at war with another country? Well, I'm going to show you that here in a minute. After what was described as a fragile session, Trump told reporters aboard Air Force One that there was a good chance to make a deal. Now, isn't that a good thing, to end a war, to end suffering? I've always said that war brings nothing but sorrow, and that is 100% fact. Ask anyone on each side of the war that has lost children, that has had their house blown up, that has had their businesses eviscerated. But then you ask these top politicians that want war to continue to go on, ask them if war is good. Well, they'll tell you, well, it may not be good, but it's necessary. It definitely is necessary for them to be able to stay in power. And these people that are contemplating doing this Operation Sandman on the U.S., they ought to be ashamed of themselves. Not only because they're willing to keep sending their children to war or the children of their constituents to war, but because they're doing it for profit. Could Europe trigger a U.S. Treasury sell-off inside the nuclear option debate? A European intelligence agency has reportedly circulated internal evaluations outlining commercial and economic plans. The Trump administration has been exploring with Russia behind closed doors, as per the Express report. This has intensified concerns that the White House could sacrifice European security in pursuit of American advantage. And what I would have to ask you all about that, do you believe this? That this is endangering the security of Europe? When was the last time that Russia has attacked anyone besides this Ukraine thing? And if you look into this Ukraine thing, go all the way back to like 2015, 2014, and really look into it. Some of you may even agree that it was justified what they did. Now, I don't think that war is justified in any case. However, look back into it instead of blindly posing your opinion. According to the officials who spoke with the Wall Street Journal, European leadership has begun weighing what some describe as a nuclear option, the mass liquidation of U.S. treasuries held by European governments. And now when you find out how much of this debt there is held by the European government, it would definitely have a huge impact on the American economy and our financial system as a whole. I think it would be felt worldwide. And here they go over how this could actually affect the U.S. economy. And like I said, it's more than just the U.S. economy. A coordinated sell-off of this magnitude could shake the American financial system, hammer the value of the U.S. dollar, and trigger a liquidity crisis. And this is on top of the liquidity crisis that we currently have. All right. Now, look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm always telling people, get gold, get silver. On top of all of your preps, get some gold and get silver. But if this happens, you're going to wish that you had put back a little bit of precious metals, because the devaluation of the dollar is already baked in the cake. But if something like this happens, it will be, in my opinion, hyperinflationary. Economists warn the impact could be more severe than the 2008 financial crash. It would be more severe than the Great Depression, potentially sending borrowing costs soaring and freezing large parts of the banking sector. And who knows, maybe this is what they want. for the banking sector and everything to shut down for a period of time so that they can bring in their digital currency. You have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that the job of governments is to find ways to implement as much pain as possible so that the people will bend to their will. Take a look at what happened in 2020 through like 2023, 2024. A lot of people bent to the government's will. And now they're discovering that people are coming up with cancer at a rate that is thousands of percent higher than before that health crisis. I wonder why. A prominent European economist reportedly said that such an action could represent one of the most significant external economic shocks in U.S. history. And when I think that these people that are planning this don't understand that they're going to be worse off than we are. They're actually going to hurt their people more so than we are because they're just as dependent on this financial system as we are, if not more. And you know what? I find this very insulting because the United States of America is a very charitable country, even though we really shouldn't be because we are in so much debt. However, we still are. And we've been giving these people over there in Europe, for the most part, free defense for the last I don't know how many decades. And now, because they want to stay in a war instead of getting out of a war, they threaten us with the nuclear option. And this is why, in my opinion, they want to stay in war. Take a look at this. What is this? This is a Lockheed Martin Corporation. Look at this. Wouldn't you love to have stock in this all the way back from 2013? Wouldn't you have loved to have bought stock in this? 500% increase in price. Another company that belongs to the military industrial complex, RTX Corp. Look at this. Do you think that maybe somebody knew what was going on here at this part and bought in? I'm sure that if you go to the stock portfolio of many people in politics that know the inside scoop, I'm sure a lot of them bought down here. And this is what they want. They wanted to stay up there and they wanted to stay higher. At what cost though? I went ahead and searched out the top 10 and then I went ahead and picked out like 5 of them. You know, look at this. This is Northrop Grumman Corp. Look at this. And it all started around the same time. They all started exploding in price around the same time. General Dynamics. Look at this. Oh, isn't that something? Around the same time, they started exploding in price. And the trend is obviously up. So when I tell you to prepare, when I tell you that this is actionable intel, it's exactly what it is. Because I was telling you all to prepare. Where are we at? I don't know, all the way back there, all the way back to that side of the chart. I was telling everyone, hey, get some silver, get some gold. And for those of you, if you're just curious, my target for silver for the short term, $62 roughly. That's my target for silver, $62 for the short term. The long term is going to be above 100. And what I mean about the long term, the next year, year and a half, silver will definitely be $100 or more, if not in the hundreds. And right now we are at just shy of $61. I think silver hit a high mid-evening or midnight, $61.70 roughly. It hit a high of. See that candle right there? It's almost hit my target of roughly $62, $63. And after that, it's just going to continue to go up. Don't be fooled if we have a retracement, meaning that if we have a little period where it falls, because that is actually a very, very bullish thing. All right, so whenever a metal or a stock, it goes up pretty fast and then it comes back down and then it goes sideways, it's a very bullish indicator that it's going to continue to go up. But I've already looked at the technical analysis on this, and I say that within a year, we're going to be well over 100, no problem. I've looked at the fundamentals. I talked to you about the fundamentals here a few videos ago that says that silver only has one way to go in nominal price, which means that it's going to preserve your purchasing power. And in this case, since it's silver, it's actually going to add a little bit to your purchasing power. So do your own due diligence, protect yourselves, but don't be fooled by what these politicians tell you, why it is that they're doing stuff. Our nation is under attack from within, and it's under attack in majority by the same people that we put in place in order to guarantee us our rights and to pretty much just look out for the well-being of our nation. You know, these people, in my opinion, are traitors, and one day they will pay the price. But until then, you have to protect yourself. You have to keep alert. You have to understand what's coming so you can get prepared for it. And I understand that it's almost every day. Oh my goodness, look at this, look at that. But that's the world that we live in. I have another blockbuster video later on today that I have to talk about. I can't talk about it here because if not, it would make this video like an hour long. Having said that, have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining. Truly appreciate every one of you. Thank you very much to every one of you that subscribed to the channel in the last few weeks and in all time, to be honest with you. God bless you all. God bless America. I love you all. I'm Alaska Prepper, and I'm out.